The rain pounded against the windshield as I drove through the winding country roads, my family asleep in the back seat. The GPS led us through a labyrinth of dark, deserted paths, and I couldn't shake the feeling of unease that settled over me. The headlights barely pierced the thick fog that enveloped us, and the manor, our new home, was still miles away. Little did I know, this night was about to take a terrifying turn. The GPS signal faltered, and I found myself hopelessly lost. My phone had no signal, and the rain showed no sign of letting up. Suddenly, out of the corner of my eye, I caught a glimpse of a figure standing by the roadside. I slowed down, but when I turned to look, there was no one there. My heart raced, and I decided to keep driving, hoping to find our way back on track. Just as panic was about to set in, the manor suddenly emerged from the mist. It stood tall and imposing, with ivy creeping up its stone walls and broken windows staring like empty eye sockets. I breathed a sigh of relief, but the sense of foreboding only deepened as we approached the front gate. My family stirred awake, unaware of the unsettling presence that seemed to surround the place. As we settled into the manor, strange things began to happen. Doors creaked open on their own. Whispers echoed through the hallways, and cold drafts swept through rooms despite the windows being closed. My wife dismissed it as the old house settling, but I knew there was something more sinister at play. One night, I awoke to the sound of footsteps outside our bedroom door. I opened the door to find no one there, but a chilling whisper filled the air. Leave, determined to uncover the manor's secrets. I began researching its history. I discovered that it had once belonged to a wealthy family who had vanished under mysterious circumstances. The townspeople whispered about vengeful spirits and dark rituals. As I dug deeper, I found an old photograph of the family, and the chilling realization dawned on me. The figure I had seen by the roadside was one of the missing family members. The haunting grew more aggressive, and my family's safety was at risk. One stormy night, I decided to confront the spirits and demand answers. Armed with the knowledge of their tragic past, I ventured into the manor's basement, where the darkest rituals were said to have taken place. The air grew colder, and the whispers grew louder. Suddenly, the spirits materialized, their faces twisted in anguish. "We seek justice," they cried. "Help us!" I realized that the spirits weren't malevolent. They were trapped, seeking justice for the wrongs done to them. I promised to help uncover the truth and bring their story to light. As the first rays of dawn broke through the windows, the spirits slowly faded, their whispers turning into grateful sighs. My family and I left the manor, vowing to tell the world of its dark history. But as we drove away, I couldn't shake the feeling that the manor's secrets were far from being fully revealed. I arrived in the quiet village of Ashford one misty evening, hoping to find a peaceful retreat from the chaos of city life. The village, with its quaint houses and cobblestone streets, seemed to be frozen in time. However, as I walked through the streets, I noticed an eerie silence. Not a single villager was in sight, and the only sound was the rustling of leaves in the wind. I dismissed my unease, assuming the villagers were indoors, but the silence lingered like a thick fog. The next morning, I decided to explore the village. As I wandered through the streets, I found that every house was meticulously maintained, yet devoid of life. Windows were open, and tables were set for meals that were never eaten. I stumbled upon an old church at the edge of the village, its doors ajar. Inside, I found rows of empty pews and a thick layer of dust on everything. The silence was deafening, and I began to feel a growing sense of dread as I stood in the church. I heard a faint whisper behind me. I turned to see a young girl, her eyes wide with fear. She beckoned me to follow her, and I did, my heart pounding. She led me to a hidden cellar beneath one of the houses. The air grew colder as we descended the steps, and I could feel the weight of something terrible pressing down on us. In the dimly lit cellar, I found a room filled with old documents, photographs, and strange symbols etched into the walls. The girl explained that the villagers had made a pact with a dark entity to protect the village from an impending plague centuries ago. In exchange, the villagers had to remain silent and never speak of the entity. Anyone who broke the pact would face a terrible fate. As the girl spoke, I realized with horror that she was speaking aloud. The air grew colder, and the cellar door slammed shut. The girl's eyes turned black, and her voice became distorted. She revealed that she was the dark entity in disguise, and I had been lured into a trap. The pact was never meant to be broken, and now I was the one who would face the consequences in a desperate bid to escape. I grabbed a nearby candlestick and swung it at the entity. It screeched in pain, giving me a chance to make a run for it. I raced up the stairs and out of the house, not daring to look back. The village was still eerily silent, but I could feel the entity's presence pursuing me. I jumped into my car and sped away, leaving the silent village and its dark secret behind. As I drove away, the silence lifted, replaced by the sounds of the forest and the hum of the car engine. I thought I had escaped, but when I glanced in the rearview mirror, I saw the young girl's reflection. Her eyes still black and filled with malice. The realization hit me. I was still trapped in the entity's grasp, and the silent village's curse was far from over.